Yo, what is good, everybody? Welcome back to the craziest what if series on the internet. Today, the Prince of all Saiyans crashes into the ninja world. Before we witness this absolute massacre, smash that like button and drop a tip in the PayPal link below to keep this channel alive. Let's get into it.
Inside the crushing pressure of a 400 gravity chamber, the prince punishes his own flesh, desperate to erase the haunting shadow of Kakarot's heroic death. Every drop of sweat is fueled by a burning inadequacy. Standing at the absolute pinnacle of power means nothing when your ultimate rival is gone forever. The sheer volume of his untamed frustration becomes too much for human technology to contain. The spatial fabric begins to warp under his immense pressure.
Damn you, Kakarot! I am the Prince of all Saiyans! I will not be left behind!
The machine reaches critical mass. The artificial gravity collides with his raw energy, creating an unstable anomaly that rips right through the dimensional boundaries. A localized singularity ignites, hungry for matter. It acts as a bridge between realities, a cosmic accident born entirely from a shattered Saiyan ego. Despite his godlike strength, the gravitational pull of the rift is absolute, dragging the proud warrior away from the only world he has left to conquer. In the blink of an eye, the prince is swallowed whole by the abyss, hurled through the terrifying chaos of the multiverse without a compass. Earth is left in silence. But across the dimensional barrier, a completely different world is about to experience the devastating arrival of an apex predator. High above the infamous forest of death, the serene ninja night is violently interrupted as the heavens literally tear open, bleeding alien energy. Like a fallen star driven by pure wrath, Vegeta crashes toward the earth, carrying enough kinetic force to wipe out the entire forest sector. The impact shakes the very foundation of the Hidden Leaf Village. In an instant, the ultimate survival ground is reduced to a smoldering ash pit. Out of the absolute destruction steps a man who doesn't even have a scratch. To him, this catastrophic fall was nothing more than a minor inconvenience. This world operates on chakra and mystical hand signs. It has absolutely no idea how to handle a being whose baseline existence defies physics. Konoha's elite shadows respond instantly. Trained to neutralize any foreign threat, the ANBU surround the intruder, completely unaware they are stepping into a slaughterhouse. Looking down, the ninja see a lone, unarmed man. But their survival instincts scream in terror, paralyzed by a bloodlust they cannot comprehend. The prince doesn't power up. He doesn't even take a fighting stance. To him, these elite assassins are nothing more than annoying little insects. The ANBU strike first, executing a flawless, lethal assault. It's a textbook ninja execution that would instantly kill any normal shinobi. But this isn't a shinobi. The razor-sharp steel shatters against his skin, completely useless against a body forged in extreme planetary gravity. Switching to close quarters, the elite assassin goes for a fatal strike to the throat, hoping to end the threat in one move. With zero effort and zero ki, Vegeta catches the strike. A casual twist of his wrist instantly shatters the ninja's arm like a dry twig. A simple knee strike carries the force of a wrecking ball, instantly rupturing internal organs and sending the elite soldier flying like a ragdoll. This isn't even a fight. It's a brutal execution using nothing but pure, unadulterated physical strength. The ANBU are completely outclassed in every way. In less than 10 seconds, Konoha's deadliest Black Ops squad is dismantled. The prince didn't even have to raise his heart rate to break them. Fear is a universal language. The surviving ninja freeze, their instincts screaming that attacking this man again means absolute, undeniable death. Just as the massacre is about to resume, the fifth Hokage arrives. But even her immense battle experience cannot prepare her for this monster. As a medical ninja, she reads his body. It doesn't make sense. The density, the pressure, the sheer volume of dormant energy is practically world-ending. One wrong move, one hostile hand sign, and the entire Hidden Leaf Village could be wiped off the map before she even blinks.
Everyone, stand down right now! If anyone engages him, I will personally execute you!
The prince smiles. He knows exactly what she's feeling. The negotiations are about to begin, but the terms will be entirely dictated by a Saiyan. The standoff reaches a boiling point. Tsunade desperately measures the alien's monstrous strength, realizing that a fight here means absolute annihilation for everyone.
I have zero interest in your petty ninja politics. Bring me the tech to rebuild my gravity chamber, or I'll reduce this village to ash.
Swallowing her immense pride, the Hokage makes the hardest decision of her life, choosing the survival of her people over a meaningless, suicidal battle. The devil's deal is struck. Konoha will provide the resources he demands, effectively buying their own safety from a walking weapon of mass destruction. As the shadows retreat, the prince claims his new territory. He is utterly indifferent to their fear, focused only on his own relentless progression. Over the next few hours, a makeshift quarantine zone is established. The Leaf Village desperately delivers advanced technology to keep the monster satisfied. Disgusted by their primitive machinery, Vegeta takes matters into his own hands. His Saiyan biology makes moving tons of solid steel look like child's play. The Forest of Death gets a terrifying new landmark. A restricted zone where even the bravest shinobi are strictly forbidden from entering under any circumstances. With his makeshift gravity core running, the brutal training begins immediately. Driven by an insatiable hunger for power, he pushes his physical vessel to the absolute brink. Every drop of sweat is a reminder of his perceived failure. He refuses to accept a reality where he isn't the strongest being in existence. He doesn't even need to touch his targets. The pure kinetic shockwaves generated by his fists are enough to obliterate solid rock into fine powder. Meanwhile, wandering the forest borders, Hinata drags her feet. Her heart is completely shattered by Naruto's departure and deeply bruised by her own father's cruel rejection. Born as the heir to the prestigious Hyuga clan, she feels like nothing more than a pathetic disappointment, unworthy of her bloodline and entirely alone. Her sorrow is violently interrupted. A terrifying, rhythmic vibration shakes the forest floor, pulling her attention away from her own misery and toward the restricted zone. Driven by a strange, morbid curiosity, she inches closer to the forbidden area, completely unaware that she is stepping into the den of an apex predator. Peeking from behind the ancient wood, she witnesses an absolute anomaly. A man pushing his body through an agonizing routine with a ferocity she has never seen. For a fleeting moment, she forgets her pain. She is utterly captivated by his raw determination, seeing a twisted reflection of the strength she so desperately lacks. But you cannot hide from a master of ki. Even without a scouter, he instantly detects her faint, trembling energy signature lingering in the shadows. Her blood runs freezing cold. She realizes with absolute horror that she has just caught the undivided attention of the most dangerous being on the planet. Before her brain can even process the command to run away, the prince shatters the sound barrier, crossing the massive clearing in less than a microsecond. He materializes like a demon right beside her. The sheer atmospheric pressure radiating off his body paralyzes her nervous system, pinning her helplessly against the wood. It takes him exactly 1 second to completely dissect her soul. He smells the fear, sees the unspilled tears, and absolutely despises everything she represents.
Standing in the shadows crying like a pathetic, wounded animal. Is this the legendary pride of your so-called elite clan? You absolutely disgust me.
The words strike her core like a physical blow. He didn't just insult her strength, he violently ripped away the very illusion of her noble birthright. Having accurately diagnosed her as a complete failure, the prince turns his back. To a Saiyan warrior, a weakling who accepts their own weakness is already dead. But in that devastating humiliation, something inside the Hyuga heiress finally snaps. The harsh venom of his truth sparks a tiny, violent ember of pure defiance. The stage is set. A broken girl and a proud prince. An unlikely collision that is about to forge the most terrifying martial artist in ninja history. He leaves the door open. Will she run back to her safe, pathetic life, or will she beg the devil to teach her how to fight? The gentle fist is about to get a lot heavier. The heiress has finally decided she is completely done with being the victim of her own story. Entering his domain means abandoning her ninja way. The brutal, unforgiving path of a Saiyan warrior is about to break everything she thought she knew.
Bro, Vegeta has absolutely zero chill. He just violated her entire existence. Will Hinata completely crumble, or is she about to snap? Drop your votes in the comments right now.
Stepping completely out of the shadows, she crosses the point of no return. She is actively choosing to walk straight into the devil's arena. Bowing before the alien prince, she puts her entire shattered pride on the line. She is desperately seeking the power to rewrite her own destiny. Vegeta is genuinely amused. The fragile little princess actually followed him, practically begging to be thrown into a meat grinder just to prove a point.
Teach me! I refuse to be the weak, pathetic failure that everyone expects me to be! Break me if you have to!
He doesn't offer any comforting words or inspirational speeches. If she wants a taste of his world, he's going to serve it to her raw. With the flick of a switch, the prince turns the clearing into an absolute death trap. The physical weight of the atmosphere multiplies instantly. The gravity spikes exponentially. The air itself becomes thick, suffocating, and heavy enough to shatter solid bone without a single punch being thrown. She drops like a rock. The insane gravitational pressure flattens her instantly, violently compressing her lungs and tearing at her muscle fibers. Her internal organs scream in absolute agony. Just breathing feels like inhaling shattered glass. This is the hellish reality of Saiyan training. While she is being crushed to death, Vegeta stands there casually. To him, this lethal pressure is literally just a light morning warm-up. Every single nerve in her body is begging her to quit, to pass out and let the darkness take the pain away. But she refuses. Her bones are on the verge of splintering. The physical gap between a human ninja and an elite Saiyan warrior is horrifyingly vast. He won't turn it off. He won't help her. In his eyes, if she dies right here in the dirt, she was never worth his time anyway.
Stand up right now, or let the gravity crush your internal organs. The universe doesn't have any pity for weaklings.
Her consciousness is slipping away rapidly. The suffocating weight is about to extinguish her life force, dragging her down into the cold, comforting dark. But right at the edge of death, the ghosts of her past claw at her mind. The suffocating memory of her father's utter disdain. The arrogant pity in her cousin's eyes. The constant, agonizing reminder that she is considered the ultimate disgrace to the legendary Hyuga bloodline. The trauma triggers a violent reaction. Sadness completely burns away, leaving behind a scorching, toxic rage that she has repressed for her entire life. She refuses to die here as a victim. Channeling every ounce of her anger, she forces her crushed body to rebel against the gravity. Defying absolute physics, she forces herself upward. The sheer willpower required to move under this pressure is actively tearing her muscle fibers to shreds. The Byakugan activates, but it's different this time. It's not a tool for gentle observation, it is a targeting system locked on with pure murderous intent. A massive burst of chakra erupts, acting as a temporary shield against the crushing weight. The shy, stuttering girl is officially dead and gone. Standing tall under the hellish conditions, she looks the prince dead in the eye. She has survived the initiation, now, she wants blood. She drops into a stance, but the grace of the gentle fist is gone. It has mutated into a ruthless, high-speed assassination technique. Moving at a speed that would terrify even the most elite jonin, she launches herself straight at the man who pushed her to the edge. There is absolutely no hesitation. No more aiming for non-lethal chakra points. Her strike is a direct, vicious thrust meant to crush his windpipe instantly. A lethal blow that would decapitate a normal ninja is stopped cold. The prince easily blocks her full-power assassination attempt with just one finger. The raw kinetic impact clears the entire battlefield. But getting blocked doesn't deter her anymore, it just fuels the fiery rage burning inside her. She doesn't stop. She immediately transitions into a savage, non-stop barrage. Every single thrust is loaded with enough killing intent to rip a man apart. Forget blocking chakra points. She is actively trying to destroy organs. The pristine, elegant Hyuga style has been completely corrupted by Saiyan brutality. He deflects the onslaught effortlessly, but mentally, he is taking notes. The speed, the sudden ferocity, the absolute lack of hesitation, it is undeniably impressive. He stops her cold, but the devilish smile on his face says it all. The psychological torture worked perfectly. A terrifying masterpiece is finally taking shape. Miles away in the dark, the snake feels the tremor. The massive shockwave of Vegeta's ki sends literal ripples across the entire shinobi continent. This isn't just normal chakra. It feels like an exploding sun. For a man obsessed with the perfect vessel, this is the ultimate jackpot. The legendary Uchiha bloodline suddenly looks like absolute trash compared to this. Orochimaru has found a new obsession, and he wants it now. Even his most loyal spy is terrified. This alien energy signature is completely off the charts, defying every single law of ninja physics. He is not wasting a single second. To capture a god-tier vessel, the snake is pulling out his most forbidden, unforgivable dark arts. Reanimation jutsu. He is bringing back the deadliest ghosts of the past just to test the limits of this mysterious new powerhouse.
Forget the Uchiha boy. That monstrous body in the Leaf Village. It will belong to me.
Back in Konoha, the weather literally breaks. A massive, toxic cloud formation swallows the sun, casting a deadly shadow over Vegeta's camp. The prince feels the shift. But to a guy who conquers planets for a living, a little dark magic just feels like a minor annoyance. Orochimaru isn't holding back. He drops his heaviest artillery right on top of the forest of death, aiming to completely overwhelm the target. A nightmare from the Ryuchi cave descends. Thousands of tons of scales and venom crashing down to flatten everything in its path. The impact hits like a meteor. The stealth approach is out the window. This is a full-scale, brute force invasion on Konoha soil. But the snake is just the distraction. Elite sound ninja flood the zone, turning the clearing into a high-explosive kill box. And right behind them, the immortal undead. Warriors dragged back from hell itself, feeling absolutely no pain and incapable of dying twice. Vegeta isn't scared, he is just deeply irritated. They are interrupting his workout with parlor tricks and oversized reptiles. Konoha's heavy hitters finally arrive on the scene. They aren't here to protect Vegeta, they are here to stop Orochimaru from capturing a literal god. The blue beast of the leaf strikes first. A kick carrying enough kinetic force to decapitate a normal man connects dead center. But physical damage means nothing to the Edo Tensei. The undead flesh simply knits itself back together in seconds. It's a terrifying war of attrition. Kakashi's lightning blade pierces straight through the heart. A lethal, perfect strike. But even the copy ninja knows it won't be enough. The head of the Hyuga clan holds the line, his absolute mastery of the gentle fist shutting down the sound ninja with flawless precision. But the numbers are just too overwhelming. Infinite stamina and instant regeneration push Konoha's finest elites to the absolute brink of exhaustion.
We can't keep this up. If that snake drops its venom, the whole sector is compromised.
A single drop of that acid can melt through solid steel. If it unleashes that payload, the Leaf Ninja are completely finished. Out of nowhere, a high-velocity blast of pure, condensed chakra uppercuts the massive beast, snapping its jaws shut before the acid can drop. The veteran masters freeze in absolute shock. That wasn't just a standard jutsu. That was an attack dripping with pure, unadulterated killing intent. Standing directly in the line of fire is the heiress. But this isn't the timid girl they knew. The prince has successfully forged a monster. Hayashi cannot believe his own eyes. The failure of his bloodline is standing there, projecting an aura of violence that makes his own blood run cold. Facing down a nightmare that would break a normal genin's mind, she doesn't even blink. Under Vegeta's brutal training, fear has been completely erased. The prince watches from above, highly amused. He threw her into the fire, and instead of burning, she became the absolute flame. She is completely off the leash. The ninja world is about to witness exactly what happens when you cross the Hyuga clan with Saiyan pride.
Yo, Orochimaru really just rolled up on Vegeta's turf bro is about to get deleted from existence. Drop a like right now if you know he's catching a one-shot.
The battlefield falls eerily silent for her. Standing on the front lines, the heiress prepares to show the world exactly what a Saiyan's disciple looks like. Shedding her heavy jacket, she sheds the last remnants of her timid past. The gentle, stuttering girl is officially buried in this dirt forever. The sheer weight of her training gear shatters the earth. A terrifying testament to the literal hell the prince dragged her through. Her vision snaps into absolute focus. She doesn't just see chakra pathways anymore, she sees hundreds of vulnerable, perfectly aligned targets waiting to be broken. An ocean of violent, suffocating energy explodes outward. It is a terrifying manifestation of pure killing intent, completely alien to the Hyuga style. The strict clan leader is completely paralyzed by disbelief. The daughter he discarded as trash is projecting an aura that makes his own knees tremble.
This is completely insane. She isn't just preparing to fight. She's preparing to massacre them all.
The prince simply watches from his throne. To him, this is the ultimate flex, proving that even their weakest trash can become a god under his rule. Blinded by numbers and foolish confidence, the sound ninja swarm forward, completely unaware that they are running headfirst into a meat grinder. The gentle fist is gone. She locks into a hybrid stance, trading elegant defense for pure, unadulterated Saiyan aggression. Breaking the sound barrier effortlessly, she vanishes. The heiress moves so fast that the human eye can only track the violent destruction left in her wake. She rips right through their front line like a bullet. They don't even have time to swing their weapons before their bodies are completely broken. Her physical strength has mutated into something monstrous. She catches a full-speed sword swing and shatters the attacker's arm like a dry twig. Instead of gently tapping chakra points, she violently overloads them. A single strike completely obliterates the enemy's internal pathways, ensuring they never fight again. Desperate to stop the slaughter, the survivors fall back on ninjutsu, attempting to incinerate her with a massive, coordinated fire strike. But raw elements mean nothing to a body forged in gravity. She physically slices right through the jutsu, tearing apart the flames with her bare hands. Emerging from the fire like a demon, she delivers the killing blow. No hesitation, no mercy, just absolute, Saiyan-taught execution. In less than 30 seconds, an entire elite platoon is violently dismantled. The girl who used to faint at the sight of blood just painted the dirt with it.
That isn't the gentle fist anymore. She's actively hunting their vitals to slaughter them instantly.
Standing victorious, she proves her worth. The weak, stuttering failure has successfully forged herself into Konoha's most ruthless executioner. But the display of dominance catches the wrong attention. The legendary Sannin realizes this newly forged weapon must be eliminated immediately. A true predator never fights fair. Using the chaos as cover, the snake slithers through the dark, hunting for the one blind spot in the all-seeing eye. The Kusanagi blade launches from the shadows at supersonic speed. A flawless, cowardly assassination attempt aimed perfectly at the base of her neck. Even a Saiyan's training can't fix a genetic flaw. She detects the blade entering her 1-degree blind spot, but her body is just a millisecond too slow. The unbreakable sword shreds right through her spine and heart. A critical, fatal blow that instantly extinguishes the roaring fire she just ignited. Her glowing eyes fade to dull white. The overwhelming pain floods her system, shutting down her nervous system in an instant of pure agony. The Sannin smiles, completely satisfied. He has ruthlessly snuffed out the anomaly before it could ever grow into a real threat to his grand design. The newly crowned queen of the gentle fist falls into the dirt, bleeding out. But the snake just made the most fatal mistake of his immortal life. The snake goes for the final, cowardly strike. A legendary blade aimed perfectly to sever her spine and end the Hyuga bloodline forever. Time practically freezes. Orochimaru tastes the sweet victory of eliminating a terrifying threat before it could fully blossom. But you never touch a Saiyan's masterpiece. The unstoppable sword is caught mid-air, clamped down by just 2 fingers. The prince steps onto the battlefield. He didn't intervene out of pity or compassion, he stepped in because his absolute pride was just insulted. The legendary Sannin realizes his fatal mistake. He thought he was hunting a vulnerable little bird, but he just woke up a sleeping dragon. A suffocating, world-ending pressure drops on the forest. The atmosphere itself becomes too heavy to breathe as Vegeta unleashes his raw killing intent. With a casual flex of his wrist, the divine sword is reduced to absolute garbage. The gap in power is not just vast, it is entirely insurmountable.
You filthy, crawling little insect! Did you really think you had the right to lay a hand on my creation?
The prince abandons his restraint. The sheer volume of energy violently shreds the local atmosphere, tearing apart the ninja world's understanding of chakra. A legend from across the stars awakens. Bathed in golden fire, the Super Saiyan completely rewrites the hierarchy of this universe in a single second. He hasn't even thrown a punch. Just the physical byproduct of his transformation is enough to completely wipe the massive summons off the battlefield. The immortal undead are vaporized. The oppressive weight of his golden ki completely overrides the dark magic, burning away the Edo Tensei on a molecular level. The great Sannin is crushed into the dirt, entirely paralyzed. His sinister ambitions completely crumble under the boot of a true god of war. His internal organs are rupturing just from being in the prince's presence. Immortality means absolutely nothing when you are facing complete vaporization. He pulls his hands back, condensing a planetary-level attack into a highly focused, localized beam. He is about to erase the snake from existence.
Take this straight to hell! Galick Gun!
The Galick Gun fires. A perfectly controlled, hyper-condensed beam of pure destruction, designed to vaporize the target without blowing up the planet. There is no substitution jutsu. No escaping into a snake's mouth. Orochimaru is completely and utterly erased from the fabric of reality. As the beam fades into the stratosphere, the absolute chaos ends just as abruptly as it began. The threat is permanently liquidated. Powering down to his base form, the prince stands over his fallen student. The battlefield is safe, but the cost was brutally high. But Saiyan training doesn't just forge your fists, it makes your spirit virtually indestructible. The heiress is not done yet. Covered in blood and scars, she stands back up. She isn't a fragile princess anymore, she has been reborn as the absolute queen of the battlefield. The old guard watches in awe. Even her father bows his head, fully realizing that the Hyuga clan's future has been permanently rewritten. The prince simply smirks. He took the weakest piece on the board and ruthlessly forged it into a weapon fit for a god. This is the legacy of Saiyan pride. The hidden leaf just gained a monster, and the ninja world will absolutely never be the same again.
Bro, that wasn't just tough love, that was absolute god-tier disrespect. Drop a tip in that PayPal link, hit subscribe, and let me know in the comments. I'm out.